the incumbent now for Lubbock County Judge, Judge Tom Head. Welcome back to the show, sir.
Good morning. How are you today?
Doing all right. How about yourself?
I'm doing well. Thank you.
Well, I appreciate you coming back onto the program. Had your opponent on earlier in the show, and wanted to have you on as well, just to give, I guess, a final push to voters out there as to why they should be voting for you. And what's one of those? What's the message that you're trying to send to voters as to why they should send you back into office?
Well, they're really. It's in this particular race. You're looking at either a Republican or a Democrat, and you've got to look at the philosophy behind those parties. The Republicans are conservative, the Democrats are liberal, and that's what you got to choose. And that's. I would encourage people to vote. I've been up since 4, and my wife and I have been driving around the roads and hit Slayton and New Deal and Shallowater, Wolfers, all those, and the roads are good. They're wet, but they're good, and there's not much problem getting through them. So, or at least we didn't have any problems. But I would just encourage people to vote. Let me quote one of the founding fathers, Samuel Adams. No. This is Noah Webster. Noah Webster said the preservation of a Republican government depends upon the faithful discharge of this duty, and this duty that he's talking about is voting. And so, you people have got a choice between liberalism and conservatism, and that's what this vote is about. This general election, and it's not just our vote; it's in Texas and nationally too. So, people are voting on the way they want this country to go, the direction they want this country to go, be either liberal or conservative.
You know, when I had your opponent on, I asked him about, okay, because he calls himself a conservative Democrat, and I'm sure you've heard your opponent describe himself in that way. He says that he is conservative. He says that, one issue that he brought up here on the program with me was that one of the reasons he's a Democrat is because of education, that he cares about education spending and that we're not spending enough on education. In a roundabout way, that's what he said.
You can spend money on education in the Republican Party or the Democratic Party.
Well, let me ask you this: do you not buy that he's a small government guy? Do you not buy that argument from him?
If he isn't conservative, he's in the wrong party. If he has read the National Democratic Platform, it is liberal. If he isn't conservative, he's in the wrong party. Now he's either lying to us, and I don't think he is, or he hasn't read the Democratic platform. One or the other. And in either case, if he hadn't read it, he's probably confused, and if he's lying, you don't want him in office anyway. So I don't think he's a liar, but he might be confused.
What are your goals going forward if reelected Lubbock County Judge?
Probably the most important one is completion of the new law enforcement center. We're going out for bid in probably a month, and once we get those bids back and we decide on that, then we'll build that new law enforcement center, and that's probably the biggest deal that we're going to do in the next 4 years. So I'd like to see that completed.
All right.
And of course, now we've lowered taxes the last 2 years. I'd like to keep that trend if we can. So, but that's what I'd like to see.
There were some who, after our initial interview that we had with you last week, who called in after the show. They expressed concern still about this pay increase, and I know you voted against the pay increase, and you said that you were going to give a lot of that money, if not all of that money, however much money you wanted to. You were going to give that to different charities out there, and you named a few, and there were some who said, "Well, wait a minute." A lot of those sound like they're outside of Lubbock. Some of them you mentioned were inside of Lubbock, to give you credit on that. But there were still some people who said that still shouldn't be your choice, because it's still taxpayer money. What do you say to the people who they're not satisfied by the answer you gave regarding the pay increase?
Number one, call me or come by my office and we'll talk about it, because I don't know what they're talking about. But there are ministries right here in Lubbock. Lubbock Disaster Relief Network, Gateway Missions, those are here in Lubbock. Dream Center. Dream Center's doing a great work down at 30th and Avenue L, ministering to that neighborhood and working with those people and giving them education, getting them GEDs, and there's food and clothing and cleaned up in neighborhoods and stuff like that. So if they would just come by my office and talk about what they would like to see, I'd be happy to talk to them.
All right. Go ahead and give us, I guess in about a minute or so, the final push for voters out there to go and vote for you for re-election.
A lot of good things have happened over the last 10 or 12 years. We've got international awards from the Government Finance Officers Association. We've got awards from the State Comptroller's Office. We've got awards from the Texas Association of Counties. And it's all good stuff. A lot of the vote centers was a pilot project that Lubbock County started, the regional public defender's office for capital cases, which started in West Texas and now is in probably 240 counties out of 254. So a lot of good stuff is happening, and why do you want to change that?
All right, Judge Tom Head, Republican, running for re-election for Lubbock County Judge. Appreciate your time today.
All right, have a good day. Thank you.
You too. It's Lubbock County Judge Tom Head, 770-5790, toll free, 1-800-687-0790.